Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are better than ever. We are live on the air. This is the Coinzone. I'm Crypto with Paul. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Welcome back to another live here. Just in a little bit, we have Jerome Powell in the FOMC meeting coming up. We will be covering that live, so stick around for that. In the meantime, just going to be taking a look at a couple things that are happening. All right, so if you're just joining now, hit that like on the way in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. First, I want to take a look at this clip of Paul Tudor Jones. If anything, markets now are so much more potentially explosive than 1999. I'd want to have positions in Bitcoin and crypto. Okay, so we're just going to listen to this clip. We're going to go from there. We're going to look at a clip from DZ. All right, shout out to the Discover Crypto guys. And then we're going to take a look at a couple other posts, something that's going on with Solana, XRP, Chainlink, and then we'll go from there, guys. But I appreciate you for tapping in. It is Wednesday, October 29th. You are watching the Coin Zone on Crypto with Paul. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's just start off here, get right into it with this video of Paul Tudor Jones.
Well, what I want to have, I'd want to have a combination of gold, crypto, and my guess is that I think all the ingredients are in place for some kind of a blow-off. Will it happen? Again, history rhymes a lot, so I would think some version of it is going to happen again.
Right.
If anything now is so much more potentially explosive than 1999. 1999, we were looking at a rate hike in November. Now we're looking at a rate cut. We were looking at 4 more rate hikes before we actually topped in 2000. Now we're looking at 3 or 4 rate cuts, probably at least. So you have monetary policy that's going to take us to real rates of 0 or less, probably, depending upon the next Fed chair. And then the big difference is, obviously, fiscal policy. We had a budget surplus in 99, 2000. Now we've got a 6% budget deficit. So that combination, that fiscal monetary combination, is a brew that we haven't seen since, I guess, the post-war period, early 50s, something like that. And that was crazy times, right, coming out of the war.
You think that most people who are watching us now, you need to be in this market now. But then the question, as I said, is you have to jump off the train before the train crashes. If you're suggesting the train is going to crash.
I'm not suggesting the train's going to crash. I'm suggesting that we're in a period that's conducive for massive price appreciation in a variety of assets. Will it happen or not? I don't know. There's, if you kind of just look, if you just think about the leverage that we had in 1999, you look at margin debt, and then you look at today margin debt, but you have to throw in leverage ETFs because people don't use margin like they did back then. We're probably a little more elevated than we were in October of 99. It will take a speculative frenzy for us to elevate those prices, right? It will take more retail buying. It'll take more recruitment from a variety of from long-short hedge funds, from real money, et cetera. It'll take a combination of those things. It's not going to go up without flows and without a story. The story's there. It's the combination of the most unique and aggressive fiscal and monetary conditions that we've ever seen.
Okay, if you're right, who are the winners then in that, and who are the losers? Because right now we're looking at NVIDIA obviously being a major winner. Even AMD today, major winner, but there's this unique arrangement that's almost circular.
The circularity makes me nervous. I would say, and I'm going to think of it in broad terms, I think what the markets are telling you, this is an inflation story down the road. If you look at the biggest winners, right? The biggest winners are gold. I think it's up 46, 47%. Bitcoin, I want to say it's up 50 or 60. I'm not even sure. There's a Morgan Stanley basket that's a retail flow basket that has all the meme stocks in it. It's up 67, 68%. So it's really what retail jumps on. So crypto, digital gold, that's obviously something that's very, very appealing.
And does that mean you're jumping on all of that right now?
Well, I'd want to have positions in all of it, for sure. So if you said to me, what are going to be the winners? Again, we have this race. The race, realistically, is certainly to the end of the year. because that's when everyone marks institutionally. And then you have to figure out what's going to go on in next year. So what would I want to have? I'd want to have a combination of gold, crypto, probably the NASDAQ. I think, I want to say that I've said that before, and I think that's still the right one. And I think whatever the fastest horse is at this point in time probably has a good chance of being that on deck 31.
All right, if we could just analyze what he said real quick. He would want to be positioned right now in gold, the NASDAQ maybe, and crypto. So for sure, Bitcoin, I would say. I know Paul Tudor Jones owns Bitcoin. But what other cryptos do you think? It's a tough thought, because then it gets speculative, then it gets opinion-based. But there are facts, though, okay? Chat, let me know what you think based off of that. If someone's asking you, all right, I get it, this whole crypto thing, it's not going anywhere, I want to invest. Bitcoin, I get, sounds good, let's do it. But what else should I do? If someone asks you that question, what do you think that you would say to them? Now, I want you to comment that in the comments right now. What would you recommend or advise for someone to invest in the crypto space if you were asked that question? All right. Let me know, chat. I am eager to know. None of this is investment advice for anybody watching, but this is a curious question of mine, because right now I feel like that is where we're at in the market right now. We have all this institutional and retail legitimacy where people are like, all right, we get it, crypto, whatever, it's here. I guess I should start investing in this. There's ETFs, there's, this and that. So what else would it be? I'm going to say the obvious ones. If you guys want to comment and let me know, let's start with the obvious ones. It's XRP, Solana, and Ethereum. Maybe BNB. What else? Why don't we just do this? Let me pull up Coinbase, and we will just do this instead and take a look at the top coins. So I would say Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana. I mean, me personally, I would throw ADA in there. I don't know if the average crypto person would, though. But then you have other ones too. I'm very interested in Sui. Chainlink, I think, is a great pick. Bitcoin Cash is hung around. It's a mineable coin. You can hit a solo block with it a lot easier than you can with Bitcoin. It's up 50% this year. I mean, all-time highs, 4,000. Who knows if it'll be able to get back there. I don't know, guys. It's an interesting play here. Okay. What would you throw into that mix? BitTensor to me, I'm very interested in. Avi to me. I mean, there's a lot, guys. You guys let me know in the comments. So I'm very curious. What do you think you would recommend to somebody outside of Bitcoin if they will be investing in crypto? All right, let's get to this. This is posted from DZ. Will alt season happen later than most expect? Well, yeah. I talked about yesterday in the live. We're already past the moment of normally when the cycle tops after the Bitcoin halving, which is 500 and something days. Well, we passed that already, and we haven't really seen anything crazy. So we are at a golden cross. Will we get a death cross? Last cycle, other/BTZ printed 2 golden crosses, with the second cross finally kicking off alt season. So DZ is saying, will we get a death cross soon, and then another golden cross, and then rally from there? Speculation. Okay, Anthony Pompliano, weak job market, cut interest rates, assets go up. So Pomp clearly wants Jerome Powell to cut. Our favorite guy, Hard Hat Pal, is he going to do it? Lark Davis, the FOMC meeting is just 2 hours away. All right, that was about 40 minutes ago, I guess, maybe. According to you, will it be a sell the news event? Well, you guys let me know in the comments. Will this FOMC meeting be a sell the news event? What are we looking at today? I mean, we just checked the markets on Coinbase so far. Everything is in the red, not really doing the best. So that's what's happening so far. All right, very interesting there. Let's keep it moving. Now, this is something I want to spend a little bit of time on here towards the end of the stream. Because, okay. So Solana just banked a deal. Western Union, the world's largest money transfer business, is building exclusively on Solana. I have been very unbiased here. I'm a big fan of ADA, as you guys know, but it's hard to downplay all of the things that Solana does. Now, what they're able to accomplish is different than how they are built and their tech. And I'm genuinely impressed by all this stuff. Okay. Now let's go a step back here. This is Crypto Bitlord. Okay. This guy has 426,000 followers. He's a big XRP guy. As a major XRP stakeholder, I'm genuinely concerned. You guys worked on this for over 13 years, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson. How did this dog-ish Solana come to onboard Western Union? Isn't that why we exist? This part was kind of corny. You've got 24 hours to respond, all right? Don't pay anything. Like, all right, what is XRP? Like, you expecting Brad Garlinghouse to reach out to you? Sorry, my lord. Like, all right, bud. Great. But he does pose a good question, though, because I feel like the sentiment behind XRP was that they had all this stuff already in the bag. You know, they're going to be helping out with Swift and this and that. And then, like, you know, all this stuff comes to fruition. And what do you see? You see Chainlink heavily involved. You see other projects heavily involved, right? And you see these supposed institutions that they were going to be working with actually building their own protocols as well. So it's, you know, I don't know. People are genuinely concerned. If you are an XRP holder, let me know what you think about this whole thing. I'm not saying that XRP doesn't have a future or anything, or it's bad or whatever, but just curious to see what you guys think about this. Okay, Chainlink is a sleeper. Okay, I think Chainlink is a big sleeper. Don't sleep on Link. They got a lot going for them. They were just named in Ethereum's like roadmap, I believe, to help with privacy. They're doing a lot. They're in a lot of places. So don't sleep on ETH. Guys, the FOMC meeting is just around the corner now. And again, we will be covering that live. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you're staying here. I'll be back shortly to cover that. Once again, guys, you have been watching the Coinzone. I'm Crypto with Paul. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that for me. And like I said, just stay tuned when we come back for the FOMC meeting. Make sure to like this video. I'll see you guys again soon.